Don't really see anything here. It looks like a bunch of peg warmers to me, but we'll try again another time. Yeah, I've seen these cars here sitting probably for a couple of weeks now. Nothing's new. Let's try again. What do we got here today? Honda Super Cub Custom. Piston gas relay. That might be a pretty good. You know, I haven't noticed it. It's been a while. I haven't noticed that these gone up in price. I used to think they were still $1. Tuned. So it looks like we're dealing with peg warmers again, as usual. What is that? It's 57 Jeep. Let's take a look at some of these 5-car sets. Normally I don't buy these, but you never know. Sometimes you find a gem in one of these sets here and you just get the whole set because of that one car. I don't think today's going to be that day, but let's take a look anyway. After 3 attempts at this particular store, it looks like we finally got ourselves a bin of death. And we've just gone through it. And let's go ahead and take a look at what we brought home. All right, guys. So after not having found anything for a number of months, and to tell you the truth, I really haven't been looking at Hot Wheels that much. I've been kind of concentrating on exclusives and Redline Club stuff. But let's go through this list here. I'm not going to know what cases these are from. I don't really keep up on all that stuff, but you can definitely see the cars. And let's see here. We're going to start off with this one here. This one is a 1968 Mazda Cosmos Sport. Let's go ahead and pop it on there. I don't know anything about this car. Never seen this casting before. So if you guys know anything about this particular casting, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Looks pretty cool. But again, yeah, I don't know much about this particular casting. I just picked it up because it's obviously something I have not found yet. And let's move on. Kind of found this one today. And this appears to be a Barbie Corvette. And this would be the 1956 Corvette. Looks like it's a convertible. Kind of looks like the casting from years ago, the one that had the big blown motor out the hood, but obviously this one does not. I don't know what the significance of this Corvette being from Barbie. Maybe I didn't see the movie, obviously, but if you guys had seen there was a Corvette with flames on there like that, maybe that's what it's from. So there's the Corvette 1956 Barbie. Now this one I've gotten before, and this one here is the 70 Plymouth Barracuda. I've had a couple of these in different colors and different liveries. That's a good looking car. With these wheels on it, that's pretty good looking. I haven't seen those wheels yet. That's kind of a new wheel for me. Again, I really haven't been doing main lines probably in the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, that's a great looking car. I like that a lot. Now this one, obviously, if you can see my slot car over here, that's a 1/32 scale slot car, GT40 Mark I. And here we have a GT40 Mark I. Now I know there's a treasure hunt version of this car, and I think this car's been out for a couple of years. I've never really found another version of this. I do have a car that looks similar to this with the black hood on it. That's a nice looking livery. Just says Ford GT40, doesn't say anything about Mark I or Mark II, Mark III, anything like that. So we're just going to say, okay, it's GT40. It's a great looking car. This is an old casting, I'm assuming. I think I had this one in chrome years ago. Of course, if it's a Porsche, I don't leave it on the shelf. I always try to grab Porsches if I can. And this one is going to be the 911 Carrera RS 2.7. Let me put that back up there. It's a good looking car. I remember I used to have a history teacher that had a brown one sitting in the parking lot in high school. Actually, it was junior high. And I used to think, man, what is it like to own a Porsche like that? Guess we'll never know. Anyway, that's a nice looking casting. And here is another vehicle. This one here, well, actually, let me see. This one here is a 2020 Ram 1500 Rebel. Obviously, the Rebel must have been a particular model of the Dodge Ram. That's a good looking truck. Kind of bittersweet to me though, because my late father had left my son a 2009 Dodge Ram 1500, and it got stolen about 2 weeks ago. Some crooks came and took it. Haven't seen it since, and I think he's out of truck. So yeah, Dad loved that. He'd loved that Dodge Ram too, man. It was a champagne color. It had the Ram boxes on the side. And then this, of course, is one of my favorites. And here is the Volkswagen T2 pickup. I don't know why they call it the T2 pickup. I know it's a Type 2. But that's a good looking vehicle. I've had these flatbeds in other liveries and other colors. They came out a few years ago. I wonder why they didn't put the gates on this truck. Kind of would have been cool if they put the gates on it. And this way it wouldn't just be a flatbed. You can actually use it as a pickup of some sort. So that's a good looking vehicle. I only found one of these too, by the way. I believe me, I dug and dug and dug in that bin, and that was the only one I found. I don't even know what the heck this one is. Mazda AutoZam. I assume it's some sort of crawler type of vehicle built from a little Mazda utility vehicle. It says new for 2024, so I've never seen this stuff. I saw it today and I thought that's kind of cool. And so that is the Mazda AutoZam. This is the 2018 Bentley Continental GT3. And I do have quite a number of slot cars, 1/32 scale, with this particular vehicle. Different liveries. That's a good looking car. Who doesn't like a bone shaker? And so this one here looks like it's got sort of a candy red finish, white walls. And we've collected bone shakers over the years. Always a hit, always look cool. And this one's no exception. So if you guys know what cases these cars come out of, you can let me know. After Christmas, well, I'm going to say before Christmas, I went to go hunting, and unfortunately, I had things I had to do, and I didn't have time to do any of the hunting. I had to leave everything on the shelf, and so there was only a few cars that I was able to get later on after Christmas, because by then everything was gone. So here, this is called the Mighty K. Kind of looks like that little foreign pickup I had earlier that's a crawler. And so this one here is kind of interesting. And here we have a 72 Stingray convertible. Big fan of the 72 Stingray. Used to have a neighbor that had one, hardtop in forest green. Man, it was a beautiful car. Old school style with the, it had Krager wheels on it if I'm not mistaken. Krager Super Sports. That's a good looking Corvette. And here is a custom Ford F-150 Lightning. Never seen this one before. Let's take a look at that one. And I do like me some motorcycles. So here we have the Honda CB750 Cafe. Is that right? Let's see here. Yeah. Let's pop that on there. Let's see if it stays because it's a small vehicle. I've collected motorcycles over the years, and I've got a whole bunch of them. More of the Harley-styled, bagged type of Harley bikes. those nondescript type of motorcycles. I've collected a lot of those. I've got a lot of monkeys too, little monkey bikes. But that looks pretty good. And then we have this one here. This must be some sort of like drift vehicle, limited grip, it says. It's got a wing, and it looks like it's got the beds cut out in it. And then here's one that's kind of interesting. This is a Ford Escort RS 2000, and it's got some, looks like it's got some fender flares on it. It's got a wide body kit. Let's turn that way. It's a good looking car. Definitely like that green. I think we have another Escort too that maybe came out a case earlier than that. And here we have the 2018 Camaro SS. Let's take a look at that one. That's a good looking car. I remember when Chevy came out with their Hot Wheels edition Camaro. That looked pretty good. Never seen one on the street though. Only seen them in pictures. And then here we have a 87 Dodge. Looks like it's a D100. Looks just like a desert truck to me. Don't know if I've got this one in another livery, but it's a good looking truck. Definitely like off-road pickups. It's got a spare tire in the back. It's got a nice livery too. Oh, here we've got the 86 Ford Thunderbird Pro Stock. I do like Pro Stock cars. Not a whole lot of them around that I know of. Got the big hood scoop. It's a good looking car. So here's the other Escort I was talking about. So this must be basically the same thing, just a different livery. And I think this was probably last year's Escort, whereas the other one I showed you in green is this year's Escort. I happened to find this one out in the mountains when I was coming home from my in-laws' house, and we stopped by a Dollar General, and I seen this car, and so I just picked it up. And this one's a good looking car here. This is really good. So there is the 2017 Pagani. I don't know how to say that. I'm just going to call it the Pagani Roadster. How's that? That's a good looking car. That's a good looking color too. And it looks like we have last year's. Here's another 72 Stingray convertible. This one in blue. Another good looking car. It looks like a candy blue. And let's see here. We've also got this one here. I think I found this one also at that same Dollar General. It's got a 1988 Honda CRX. This was a popular car when I was growing up because it was one of the cars everybody can afford. And people used to love to modify these things. We have another limited grip. This must be from last year. Who's not a fan of the 84 Pontiac Firebird? Got the T-tops going on there. Got that 80s looking livery. 80s styling. Gotta like that. I think I've got that somewhere else in another box from years ago. Got this one here. This is called the Power Panel. Looks like a Dodge Power Wagon. Some funky colors there. And I don't really pay attention to too much of the treasure hunts. I don't usually collect them. I mean, if I found one on the shelf, I might have found it by accident. I used to collect treasure hunt. Well, I tried to collect treasure hunts probably 10, 15 years ago when they first came out. And usually that's when everything started going crazy and treasure hunts became one of these things where it became very elusive. You know, you never found them on the shelves. I'm not one to pay eBay prices for stuff like that, so I just don't collect them. You know, if I've happened to find one out in the wild, great, but I don't usually look for those. Here's one I didn't know that I had. I almost bought it again today. So this is the Alfa Romeo GTV6 3.0. And that is a good looking car. Here we go with the GMC Hummer EV. Don't know why I picked this one up. Sometimes I see something that I just, you know what? I don't have that one. Might as well just get it. I don't want to really get back into collecting mainlines again. I don't even know why I have these, because it's at the point where I don't even know where I'm going to store them at. But here's one that's really cool. I do like this. There is the Land Rover Series 2. Looks like it's got a surfboard in it. It's got a folded windshield. Let's take a look at that one. It's a good looking truck. Remember this one years ago. There's the 76 Greenwood Corvette. Years ago, back in the mid-90s, I used to work at an automotive paint store. And this paint store used to service the City of Industry area in California. There was a company, I'm going to say it was probably Chinese owned, and these guys were importing Corvettes basically back to China, or exporting them from the US. And what they were doing is they were putting fiberglass kits on them, and they really resembled this Greenwood Corvette. And so they would just paint them in different colors and stuff. They look pretty cool. So here we have a 57 Jeep FC. That's a cool looking truck. Really digging that. Looks like it'd make a cool crawler if they made an RC version of this. And then here we go with the Fiat 500e. Let's put that a little closer because it's a little car, a little tiny car. Erikensteinrod. I guess it's like Frankenstein, but Erikenstein. So obviously somebody probably at Mattel named Eric, I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe designed this? Who knows? You can take a look at it though. There we go. It's kind of funky looking with those mix match wheels. And then here we got the C Zinger 21C. I don't know what that car is, but it looks cool. Maybe that's a fantasy car. Not familiar with that one, but that's new for 2024. Bet you it's fast. There is the 2023 version of the Honda CB750 Cafe. And that's a different color than the one I picked up today. I'm a big fan of these. I've got a whole bunch of them in different colors. Classic 55 Nomad. I've got a couple that are Spectraflame, including some special edition ones I just picked up. Nomads are cool. Then we have the McLaren Solus GT. Not familiar with that car, but it looks good. The Rockin' Railer. Kind of looks like an old rail style dragster. And it's got that weird canopy, almost kind of like the way that the old the Dragula from the Munsters looked. Interesting. There's the 86 Toyota van. It always seemed like if you brake too hard in these vans, they flip over on the front wheels. And I think I've seen that in a movie somewhere. I don't know, but it seemed like that would be the case. So here is the Honda Super Cub. It's kind of like a little scooter. I bet you these are the little Hondas they use in Southeast Asia. Probably very popular over there. And then this one's one that I really looked forward to getting. This is called the Max Steel. Kind of looks like a Bonneville car. The white walls. Max Steel. And I'm going to finish this out with two cars that I luckily found. Well, one car I luckily found. I completely missed this set when it came out with it. So this is all that I was able to collect from the entire Porsche set. I think this they call it the silver set. And that is the 935. Always a fan of Porsches. That looks like the newer 935. The ones I really tried to get my hands on the 914. And you know, funny thing is I actually had a 924 in my hand and I must have put it down because when I got to the checkout, the 924 was gone. I must have put it down somewhere on the shelf and didn't realize I did that. So unfortunately, when I went back, they were all gone. This is the only one I got from that set. And then I'll finish it off with this. So this here is the Fast and Furious set. You've got the Mustang, you've got the RX-7. If I can pull this back far enough, we can see it. We've got the Charger, the Chevelle, and I believe that is the Aston Martin. So that is the, yeah, that's the Fast and Furious set. If you guys have seen any of these cars and you think any of them are really good candidates for pulling out of the package and racing them, let me know. Probably won't pull all of them out because I've got so many loose cars sitting around. They're easier to pack up when they are in the package. And I do probably have a few, probably maybe 1,000 or so loose that I usually race. But I definitely probably will use this one. I probably will pull that out and race that. Always a fan of the Carreras. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. We'll look forward for the next one. I don't know when they're going to be putting out more cars because my particular Walmarts and Targets, they're usually gone through by the time I get, you know, home from work, and I don't go hunting in the middle of the day, so just have to basically get what I can get, and that's it. All right, guys, bye for now. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please give us a like and subscribe.